This is a country where somebody who was will say Mr. President is a criminal. Nothing will happen. Nothing. You say all kinds of things you want to say, nothing will happen. No matter how you see people criticize Trump, have you ever seen any American citizen on the social media, on the public, say, look, our president is a criminal? Have you ever had that? But yeah, anybody can wake up in the morning and abuse president, and we're happy. You are lucky you have a president that believes in the rule of law. You are lucky. Continue to be lucky. There are those you will meet, and you will be lucky again.
That was the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, yes, weekend, during the flag off of road project in Abuja, where he criticized critics of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying that they are fortunate that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a president that respects the rule of law. And he was speaking during the time in reaction to activist Sowore, who, using his X handle, described the president as a criminal, which resulted to the Department of State Services filing charges against him. So the minister was reacting to that action, alleged action of Sowore in calling the president a criminal. However, in his intervention, the minister lied when he said that even Donald Trump, no American has ever called him a criminal. And he even went on to, to seek the reaction of the crowd. He said, have you ever heard any American call Donald Trump a criminal? And the crowd said, no, they have never heard. Now, this channel is to educate those who think that, who believe the minister, that the American president has never been called a criminal by American citizens. That is not true. That's a lie. In fact, when I asked Grok AI to give me just about 20 lists of Americans from social media platforms, I know that Grok could have given me thousands, but I just asked for 20. This is because I'm somebody who follow American politics, and you know that this channel will talk about Nigerian politics, economy, development, and the issues concerning Nigeria and the world. And you cannot talk about the world if you don't understand United States. So I'm also an active observer of American politics, and I know that Americans, there are many Americans who don't like Trump, who don't like his policies, and who have called him a criminal severally. Okay? So I just asked Grok, he gave about 20. I just asked Grok to give me 20, and they brought it with different dates. But that's not what I'm going to bother you. I'm not going to bother you about that, but I will show you videos of Americans, politicians, calling Trump a criminal. Okay, and it is important we correct that impression that what the minister said is the gospel truth. This is because he cited American President Donald Trump, because he is aware, like many Nigerians, that we borrowed our presidential system of government from United States. So if Trump cannot be called a criminal, then why should anybody call the president of the country a criminal? Now, this is not an endorsement of Sowore and his politics and what he called the president. No, but it is to correct the impression that presidents are not called names. Even the prime ministers of Britain, France, people call them names, because that's what comes with the job. That's why they say if you can't stand the heat, stay out of the kitchen. So now we are going to look at some American politicians, members of Congress, who have used their platforms, recorded on videos, reported in the news, calling Donald Trump, the president of the United States, that he is a criminal, so that we can be able to understand that it is not really, it's not true that Trump, no American citizen has ever called Trump a criminal. They do it every day. All you have to do is just type something on Google, Trump a criminal. You see tons of Americans who have referred to him. But Trump has never said that they should file charges against somebody, but because of they call him a criminal or something like that. I've not come across that. Okay, but that being said, now let us look at evidence to show that Americans, leaders and ordinary folks do call Trump on video. We're not just talking about X, I mean TikTok, everywhere, that Trump is a criminal. Let's watch.
Donald Trump is a criminal. A criminal found guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud. Of course, he is lying and manipulating the stock market too. He is at his best making himself, the billionaires who back him, and the members of Congress who trade with him rich. Not you, not me, not the people.
These are the people that he decided to release in the streets of D.C. So if anybody does need to clean up D.C., I would agree it is this man, because he is the one that is causing half the crime that we have. Not only is he participating in the crime, but we know that he instigated the insurrection. And if I did say that I had one issue with the Biden-Harris administration, it is the fact that they did not move forward and make sure that this man was put where he should have been put. Because the last time I checked as a criminal defense attorney, and Mr. Attorney General, you may have a different experience, but I never had a defendant that had 34 convictions for felonies and did not spend one day in jail. Never in my life. And the last time I checked, the party of law and order is the only one that decided that they would be out of order and decided to nominate someone who was not only indicted but was actually convicted of multiple felonies. That has never happened in this country, and it is a shame that we are dealing with it now, and now he wants to tell y'all how to do your jobs.
And they're going to try to change the subject every way that they can. And it's just a fact, okay? Deal with the fact that you got a ignorant criminal in your political party that's president of the United States, and quit making up shit.
James, I have covered or directed coverage of a number of different presidents with different policies.
So we want to talk about abuse of power, huh? Well, let me start here. President Trump's only expertise on crime is committing it, not preventing it, enabling it, not ending it, and covering it up, not cleaning it up. He is a convicted felon. He has illegally frozen federal funding. He has assaulted the rule of law at every turn. He has consistently violated constitutionally protected due process rights, and he has unleashed a corporate agenda to enrich himself and his wealthy donors. Right now, as we sit here, Trump is bending over backwards to protect Ghislaine Maxwell, a convicted sex trafficker who preyed on children, and blocking the release of the Epstein files to shield criminals from accountability. In the last 10 months alone, he has pardoned countless white-collar fraudsters who ripped off the American people, often conveniently after they cozied up to him. And let's not forget, Trump pardoned every single person charged or convicted in the January 6th insurrection. That included 172 people who pleaded guilty to assaulting law enforcement. It included dozens of repeat offenders, people with prior convictions for rape, manslaughter, and sexual abuse of a minor. And it included at least 10 individuals who have already been rearrested for new crimes. So spare us the talk of law and order, because under Trump, that only means lawlessness for his friends and punishment for everyone else.
But here's the reality. As far as I'm concerned, he's a lot less criminal than the person that's sitting in the White House. Because last time I checked, he doesn't have any criminal convictions. I don't even think he has any outstanding cases, versus the guy that still had cases pending when he was sworn in on January 20th and also has 34 felony convictions. So listen, I don't want to hear anything from the Republican Party about how they're trying to keep us safe when their fearless leader is actually the biggest criminal thus far that we have seen, because I haven't seen anybody with a rap sheet that looks like the president.
It's pretty clear to me that Donald Trump is a con man and a criminal, and he thinks like a criminal. Like, he will say almost anything if it will accomplish a purpose, but the veracity.
That was a montage of Americans calling Donald Trump a criminal. The video you watch, the montage you watch, in the beginning, the first person you saw there was a congresswoman, a Democratic Party congresswoman, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, at a Democratic Party event. She openly called Donald Trump a criminal. Nothing happened to him. She was not charged to court or anything like that. Donald Trump didn't do anything to her. Then the second person you had, there was another congresswoman, Jasmine Crockett, calling Donald Trump a criminal. Then another person, the third person you saw there was James Carville, Democratic Party strategist, calling Trump a criminal. That the leader of the Republican Party and the president of the country is a criminal. That's James Carville, Democratic Party strategist. Then you have another congresswoman, a black woman, Miss Brown, congresswoman, calling Donald Trump a criminal. You saw it yourself. Then you have an ordinary American, ordinary voter, saying, who is even a Republican like Donald Trump, calling Donald Trump a criminal. Now, why do we bring up this? Is to show that democracy respects rule of law. Trump may have been offended by some of this, but he didn't have to unleash the state on these people. And there are more. As I told you, I'm somebody who follows American politics. I'm invested in American politics in the sense that I understand that what happens to America has repercussions around the world. What happens to America affects Nigeria. So I pay attention to American politics. If you don't pay attention to American policy, then you won't understand what is happening even in Nigeria enough. For example, it was Barack Obama that connived with the opposition, the APC, in 2015 to demonize Jonathan, and even failed to help Jonathan to get arms to fight Boko Haram, just to make things difficult for Jonathan. Don't forget the role Barack Obama played in not selling arms to the Nigerian military to fight Boko Haram, and to create the atmosphere necessary for a change of regime in Nigeria that eventually ended up in fostering the APC to Nigerian people today. Even former President Jonathan has admitted it, that America interfered in that election. Even John Kerry then, who was the Secretary of State, came to Nigeria and spoke only with the opposition leaders. He didn't even bother to speak with the government officials of Goodluck Jonathan. So we have to appreciate the fact that what happens to America can have impact in our country, and it did. And it affected our continent, because under Barack Obama, United States government instigated the killing of Muammar Gaddafi. And that killing of Muammar Gaddafi eventually ended up in creating crises in the Sahel, including Nigeria. The insecurity we are suffering today and the flooding of Nigeria and the Sahel with arms from Libya wouldn't have been possible if Gaddafi was not dead. So what happens to America concerns us. You have to also know that when Barack Obama and co. refused to sell arms to Jonathan to fight Boko Haram, who was the American president that sold to Kano Jet? It was Donald Trump in his first term that sold to Kano Jet to Muhammad Buhari, the then president, to fight Boko Haram. So these things are important that we know that. And I'm sure that that was also the importance of America to our politics, is why the Minister of FCT said that, have you ever seen an American calling their president a criminal? In other words, even the people who borrow this the presidential system of government, they never call their president, but people had the temerity to call their president all kinds of names in Nigeria. They even called Donald Trump even worse than a criminal. If I show you what Grok brought out for me, or what Americans called Donald Trump, it's unprintable what they call him. But he brushes it off, because despite all those names they were calling him, even when he was the president in the first term, they were still calling him all those names. Americans now gave him a bigger mandate, which means that it doesn't matter what few people or many people call you. If you are working for the people will reward you. But even if everyone say you are a saint and you are not working for the people, you can't return in a free and fair election. It's not possible. That's the way it is. So this video is basically to put it on record that the minister lied in saying that no American. You have seen evidence of it. Several American leaders, these people I showed you here, they are leaders, congresswomen, Democratic Party strategists, and then an ordinary voter who is a Republican voter, saying he don't. And if you watch the whole video of the last clip, that man is a Republican. He agreed. He said Donald Trump is a criminal. He won't ever support him again. So this is to show you the beauty of democracy, the rights of freedom of speech. So the idea that Tinubu is being magnanimous by allowing rule of law, He has no choice in a democracy. If he doesn't allow rule of law, then what you have will be the rule of men. And then that will mark the end of democracy. Because under the rule of law, people have the right. If you're offended, if Donald Trump is offended that people call him a criminal, he can go to court and challenge it. And go and challenge it. And that's why there is law. That's why we are people of democracy is about rule of law and order. And all that. But to say that is an aberration, calling president's name is not true all over the world, especially where you have democracy, real democracy. We're not talking about China. We're not talking about Russia. We know those are pseudo democracies in the sense that they do election, but what they do there can't compare it to popular democracy. I don't know what you think about this video you have watched, which has exposed the lie by the minister that no American has ever called Donald Trump a criminal. But whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.